It's your girl, Mina Mendoza, little girl, big personality, queen of spice. We in here. It's Thursday. It's raining, though. I don't like the weather, but we got, not a vibe, though. I don't like the weather at all, but we definitely got a extra special spicy guest with us. We got Zain.
Hello, everybody.
In the building.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, especially like in the rain. I always feel like, damn, like I hope we're gonna have a great show. We're definitely gonna have a great show. Mad effort to get here, like, you know.
Right, there was like mad detours. I was like, nah, I'm here.
I believe you. I believe you. Yo, for real, like. That's how I feel about like driving through Lodi.
Oh yeah, Lodi's a pain. Like,
it'd be like flooded.
You spit in Lodi and it's flooded. It's like I used to live there.
Really?
Yeah, and it would always get flooded. But luckily, I was like further away from the flood zone. Mm-hmm. But I was like, oh no school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all right, let's actually jump right in. So Zain. One thing, I looked at your bio a little bit, and I noticed that it has a little bit of photography, but also a blend of film.
Right.
So how do you feel like, which one is more right now?
I would,
or how do you put your energy into like where it's balanced, you know?
I feel like it's more of a duality between the two. It kind of balances out because I actually... I like movies a lot, so there's a lot of cinematography esque styles in my photography, and then I said, I want to do movies too, and there's a lot of my photography style in my filming.
Okay.
So overall, I like to just do storytelling within pictures and in like filming, so it actually balanced me out because I can't see myself doing just all photography only.
Okay.
And then all of film. I just had to balance myself out.
Yeah. Okay. Love that. So I guess we're going to tackle one at a time, okay? Because I don't want to lose my thought with it. So one thing that I do want to talk about first is your photography. So I was noticing your pictures. What would you call your style of pictures? So like everybody that's watching like could understand, your art with that.
I want to say it has like a bit of grunge, but more so, I guess.
What's that mean? Like not happy?
Yeah, it's like not happy.
Like
just,
dark.
And like it's very dark and I guess dark and moody.
Okay.
But I also like to do like juxtaposition where I like to have like if they're wearing like a nice beautiful dress, I like them in a destroyed environment, and then I would invert it where they'll be in a, like, I guess a messed up outfit in a beautiful area.
Okay.
So that's like kind of like my style, but I always like to create characters out of the subjects, like the models. Like some guy, he was wearing a suit, but he had like a nice car, so I just made him a spy. So pretty much like the whole concept was he's like very like covert and espionage. So I changed my style of shooting him. So like from a distance, like he's like up to something. So that was like his character.
Okay, I love that. Okay, so one thing I do want to ask with photography, when you do think of like getting into this field, what was that moment in your life that you were just like, I want to capture these moments?
You know what? It most likely for me, I believe it was just watching a lot of movies, and then I said to myself like, I would just capture moments that looked like it was a scene of a movie. So most of the time my pictures were like horizontal, and then eventually I made it vertical, which is like the portrait-esque look. So to me personally, I just like shooting in like horizontal things that look like a movie scene and whatnot. Like I guess if you could look at a picture for X amount of time, it just looks like you paused the movie. That's how I see it in my head.
Okay.
Like where's this gonna take place, and like what's gonna happen next? And if I could capture that in a picture, then me as a personal goal, that's a win.
Okay. So capture like a scene.
Yeah, like capturing a scene.
Okay.
And then that's when I name it.
I like that. Okay, so what do you think of like? Okay, so have you ever captured a scene that was like, oh, I shouldn't have captured this?
I want to say that was more so in the city. When I was doing a lot of street photography stuff, and then I was taking pictures of just like random people just doing things, like especially like around Times Square. Okay. And then I guess I caught someone on the wrong day, and they just like looked at me funny, and I was like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have captured it. But
Yo, but how'd you take the picture? Now I'm curious. Like, did the guy just like came out of work?
Right, and like he and then he just like, I guess
You
he was
really
mad.
did that?
I took a picture, but the thing was I was taking a picture past the person. It just happened to walk into my shot.
Okay.
So then how I took the shot, I'm like shooting in between the crowd, so it kind of looked like I was spying on him, and then it was just like him in the distance, and then the foreground was like people in the background, and then you just see like him just. And I was just like, oh,
Yo.
and then that was pretty much it. I don't know if we had a conversation or anything, but I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna delete it. The only reason I deleted it was because at the time I didn't know the rights of photographers in like public. So then I was like, oh, you know, if I don't want to get in trouble, but in reality, you're not gonna get in trouble if you take pictures in public.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I always wonder that, like, how does like paparazzi get away with the pictures they take? Because it's like they
Public
get personal.
places.
They get personal. Like, can you get sued for that?
No. The situation happened before years ago where there was a gentleman, this is years ago, and someone had taken a picture of him, but that picture like blew up. It was famous and everything, and he wanted to sue them, but he couldn't. He lost the battle because it was in public space. So if you take it, like say for example, the person's in a house or inside a private property, and you take that picture, then you get in trouble.
Okay.
But if it's on, like, say they're at a park or like Central Park or whatnot, or in Central, what you call it, Times Square or something like that, and you take pictures of people, that's all game.
Okay.
Yeah. But there are rules for photographers because there's a lot of photographers that got in trouble, and then they went through the whole justice system, and then they won. But in New York specifically, you can't put like any light stand down, or you will get like fined.
Light stand, like that, like
The thing that holds the
looking
light.
thingy.
Yeah, like things like a softbox that just you can't put no tripod, no nothing without a permit.
Dead.
Yeah, the moment you do that, especially in Times Square, they will ticket you, and that ticket is hefty.
How much?
I think first offense is like $500, and then at that point they just take you to the bank after that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Sometimes they give you a
crazy.
warning, but like as of recently, I've just seen people just get ticketed. Like there was one dude that didn't even put it on the ground. I guess he was taking pictures like in the middle of the street, but not all the way in the middle of the street. My man, the cop came all the way down from the street, walked, and then he gave him a ticket. It was crazy.
That's petty.
Yeah, it was.
That's
I was
so
like,
petty.
damn. And like the whole time he's taking the shoot, killing, and the dude's like, yo, I got a permit. Didn't even matter.
Man. All right. Well, I hope his pictures were worth it.
Oh,
We're
I think
definitely
so.
worth it.
I
We're
think so.
definitely worth it. Okay, so we talked a little bit about photography. I mean, are there any projects that you feel like you want to talk about? Something that you're working on, that you're about to put out, that maybe you want people to look at?
Non-photography related?
Or maybe I want to get into film
Okay.
in a bit, but anything with photography.
At the moment, I do have a project that I'm working on. It's with a makeup company called Balula.
Lila Balula.
Balula.
Lila Balula.
Be like
Lie.
Balula.
Balula.
Yes.
Lila Balula.
Yep.
Lila Balula.
Balula.
Okay, I see we got some action. I see we got some action in the check-in. Hey, shout out to Blaze. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to Nadine, Santa Squad. Shout out to Ray. Yes, peace everybody. Peace everybody in love. So, a little bit about the photography though. I feel like I lost my train of thought right now. Just like shouting out everybody. But any type of like famous photography moments that you feel like, I don't know, when I was like looking up, like, you know, genuinely, like I was like, how do I interview a photographer?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like you capture moments. Like once you capture that moment, it's there forever.
Right.
You know, whether it's bad or good.
Right.
Most of the time we want it to be good.
Exactly.
But I'm talking about those impactful photographs where like, I don't know, when I say impactful, I think about like the tank where like the person was putting a flower and like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember that picture, yeah.
Like that picture, or whoever took the picture of JFK.
Right.
Before those moments. Like those pictures, like I would feel like the person behind that camera.
Right.
I don't know, like insane.
So for me, I think one of my, I guess, profound pieces that I've shot was I had like There was 2 models that I had, and we did a squid shoot.
What's a squid shoot?
Well, we just took a squid and we just did like got creative with the squid during the shoot.
A real life squid?
Well, it was a squid from a seafood market, so it wasn't.
I was like, where'd you get the squid? I was like, was this like a big squid? Like
it was a big squid.
Okay.
Yeah, and we put it like on the different parts of the model and whatnot on their head, and it was just like. And then one of the models, like, cause she's a makeup artist as well, she's like, "You mind if I just like add some like gold paint on it?" I was just like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So she put makeup on herself, and then she put the gold what you call it, the squid on there, because she put gold all over the squid. And then the way she was holding it, and then her eyes are blue, like she was just staring at the camera. So it just looked like she was looking at like the world as if this is, I see you, like this is what you did to my environment, like a pollution type of ordeal.
Okay.
That's what it kind of felt like. But I usually name the pictures like after I do the shoot. Like never like, oh, like yeah, it had to do with squids, but I usually don't like give it a title until like sitting with it like after like maybe like a couple of weeks.
I want to see that. I'm gonna pull up that picture.
Yeah,
do you have that picture?
Yeah, I have that picture. I can show you right now.
Definitely. While you're looking for that picture, all right, what time is it? So real quick, Nadine's like just putting it out there. Vanessa Bryant won a $16 million lawsuit against the people who released Kobe Bryant's accident. Ooh, that's like, yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's sad. I don't like that. You know, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. But I don't want to start the show like that. I love you, Nadine, but I'm not taking it there. I'm not taking it there, you know? But like, yo, that's crazy though. Like, that's not right. Wow. Whoa. You took that?
Yep.
That looks really cool. All right, I'm definitely going to put that in a clip because that's really cool. I was just like, it looks like video games.
Right, and I really play a lot of video games.
Okay. So do you feel like, so that's pretty cool. I feel like, do you feel like there's a connection with maybe people who play video games, like with film and photography, like?
I think there.
And maybe like with filming it.
Filming it, you know what, like, see, when you play video games, there's a lot of problem solving that you have to do. Like, you're also like hand-eye coordination, but like the whole premise of the game is there's obstacles that are coming at you, and then you have to like problem solve and figure it out. So you take that and you apply it to like film.
Yeah.
You might be in a situation like, oh, let's do this experimental style, and then you figure out the solution for it. So it becomes like a puzzle that you have to figure out real quick.
Yeah.
So I think you become more experimental if you're a gamer transitioning to like doing films.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. All right. I want to get into the film part though.
Right.
So now with film, how long have you been filming?
I want to say I've been filming starting 2015, like professionally, because I was just, you take films or just random things and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like professionally, I started in 2015, and I was just doing behind the scenes of like my photo shoots.
Okay.
So the first video was like me at the beach with like a couple of models that I had, and it was like
with the squids.
No, it was different models. There was an evolution in like the people that I worked with. But I had like a team. There were the I Am Zain Model Elites, which I still do have a team, but it's just like it's not as big as it once was. But I still have that team, and that was like I wanted to capture like behind the scenes of what was going on. And I put the clip together, and then I said to myself like, you know what? Let me just keep on doing it. And then my first like short film that I worked on was in 2016. And it wasn't my project, I just filmed it. And it was called Infliction. Yeah, and that you could find on Amazon Prime.
So is it like spooky?
It's a thriller. It's definitely a thriller. Spooky, I would say maybe a little, but it's more so like one of those suspense movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you filmed it. I feel like so are you into cinematography, like the whole like putting a song to a scene, like how do you choose that?
That I usually sit down with a scene like because if I'm the one writing it, then I kind of have like idea what the mood is going to be before, like I'm listening to the music, because I typically listen to epic music when I'm writing a scene.
Okay.
So then it makes it easier for me to pace myself in terms of how the writing will be, and in terms of what the scene is gonna kind of like play out to be.
I'm curious. What's epic music?
Well, if you type
I
it
want to
in,
learn what Zayn likes. Like, this is my creative mode. What are we listening? What's the Spotify look like?
so you ever see like a movie trailer such as like Avengers or anything like that,
Yeah.
right? So that's like kind of like an epic orchestral type music where it's like
Okay.
dun, 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 dun. Like that's the type of music that I listen to.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I like write an action scene and I listen to that music, like it'll be like an hour, 2 hour mix while I'm writing that particular scene. So then when it comes to me adding that music, and then it makes it easier to kind of pace it out. So if I'm writing a sad scene, then I would listen to like sad music.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
Yeah,
the
you can't
pacing.
listen to opposites. I would be scared. Like, I would be really scared. Like, you're just slasher listening to Uptown Girl.
Right.
Billy Joel.
But sometimes you do that to throw people off. Like, I'll never forget the movie Jeepers Creepers, and at the end of the movie, hey, Mr. Sandman, bring me. I was like, oh no, that is a happy song with this terrible, like, it was so horrific, and then you playing this happy music, that made it creepier.
Those like music creepy movies definitely, like, I feel like make the movie, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I do want to get into something. So I did see a film of yours today. We're gonna get into that, but I didn't want to lose my thought with this. Like, for example, like Exorcist, like everybody always remembers that beat.
Right.
I can't say that beat, but we all know what it is.
Right.
Or like Freddy Krueger, or like Jason, how he has like.
Oh yeah, that's like
or is
those
that Michael Myers?
Those motifs or like the themes or whatnot that make people remember. And when those are like very like 80s slasher, so that way, because I mean those sounds were kind of used for most of the movie. So anytime you hear that sound, you automatically psychologically think of that moment. Like
even Insidious,
right?
Like that weird freaking song.
Oh,
like I hate that song. I don't. Yeah, that thing is crazy. Like, yo, when I first saw that movie, that kind of effed with my head a little bit.
Right.
Because it was so.
It's a cheery beat, but it was like a dark movie.
I just think the movie in general messed me up because it was like super science. It was like astral projection. It was like a kid was involved, and that already got me shooken up because I'm a mom.
Right.
So I'm like, oh my God, this kid can't wake up. Like, he's stuck in this dream.
Right.
And then it's just and then there's a demon, so obviously religion.
Right.
So I'm like, you got religion, science, family. This is a whole lot.
It was a lot going on.
A whole lot, and then that song.
Right.
So I was just like, oh man, check me out. Like, nah, like, but I had to finish it. But that movie kind of got to me a little bit.
Yeah, well, movie that got to me when I was younger and still to this day was Candyman.
I never seen Candyman.
And I don't suggest you start.
Everybody always talks about Candyman. Like, I remember when I was a kid, you ever seen Candyman? I was like, nah, I don't want to see Candyman.
Yeah, that one had a lore, but it was within the movie. But it's like
Yeah.
if you said the name in the mirror 5 times, then like he would come out and kill you. And you just like, so then back in the day, people would try to play games with you. And
Bloody Mary.
Exactly. It was like the same concept.
I remember.
Yep.
There was a phase in school where like all the girls went to the bathroom and like, they
And then somebody would
Bloody
flip the
Mary.
lights.
Oh my God. There was spooky vibes. It's October. I want everybody in the check-in. Please let me know, what's your favorite scary movie? Like, what's your favorite one? Marv, what's your favorite scary movie? The Shining. But see, even that, like, I feel like when I think of The Shining, like those twins talking.
Right.
That or like.
Or the kid just, I mean, granted, he wasn't like a creature or anything, but him just riding in the bike in this empty
Facts.
hotel, like that was creepy enough.
Yeah, The Shining was creepy.
Yeah.
Shining was creepy. Okay, but I want to get into this film though, because I feel like it definitely was spooky. It was spooky. So I saw a film today, and I definitely saw it like in the wrong place. I saw it at the gym. I was like, yeah, I could see this. I saw. So first of all, I'm gonna say the name of the film. So it's called The Hardest Point. The Hardest Part.
Yep.
So The Hardest Part, produced by
Zain
himself. And I think I'm gonna let you take this away because I was trying to like understand a little bit.
Right.
And I feel like I understood, but I feel like I need to hear from the man himself.
I don't want to try to spoil it, but because I want people to see it. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a lot of
Yeah. I mean, yeah, don't set out like spoilers, but like,
because it's kind of hard. That's a
who
movie
is
that's
this
hard.
for?
Well, it's, honestly, so the idea happened with the actual phrase, which was the hardest part about killing you is I can only do it once. Then I made a whole story around that
That's
phrase.
deep.
Yeah, and I was like, why would anybody say that to anybody?
You thought of that?
I did.
Yo.
And then I just made it broad, and I built up into that moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, how am I gonna do this? And like what? And then picking the way I was going to do it, like I actually changed it up. Like that's why it's like so hard to explain what direction I was going in. But essentially, I had the character originally, who I guess was the brute, the one that was exacting revenge. He was supposed to be doing everything.
Yeah.
But that's not how I decided to switch it up. I wanted to throw people off completely. And then I was like, what? Who better to throw them off than the person that the movie started with?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, kudos to you. I don't want to give out spoilers, but I feel like definitely catch it if you want to let the audience know where they could find this short film.
Right. You could find The Hardest Part on YouTube. And you just type in The Hardest Part and dash I Am Zain Studios.
Definitely spooky vibes. Something that I can talk about though, without giving the film away, I dig the whole background of it. Like I like how certain scenes you play different sounds and like it gave off like I don't know. I was just like there was like lighting.
Right.
That shit was dope.
It was actually
dope.
A composer that was doing 80s music. So I had that also. So it was actually like a guy who was making music for that film.
Okay.
Yeah, so it gave, like I said, I wanted like something 80s.
It definitely gave off that vibe. That's something that I was focusing in because, like, you know, something like when people are producing a film, you know, I feel like what makes it special is like what you do to the background to make it like enhance, make it pop, you know?
Right.
Because somebody could just come with a camera and just film us right now, like, yo, doing a podcast. Like, you
Right,
know?
right.
But if we're with a podcast and there's, you know, just, more, I don't know, you make the scene pop.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you do something to it.
Right.
So again, like I feel like the fact that you had an idea, they're like, I want to make it this type of background. Like for example, again, I said it before on my show, like Twilight.
Right.
What made Twilight, I feel like famous, or what stuck out is that the whole movie was blue.
Yeah,
it was literally
cool.
blue.
Right.
It was like we're gonna give this movie just this type. Like there was no like sepia like color in that movie.
Right.
But yeah.
Because it kind of emulated the vampires being soulless. So you take the warm from that.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of had a double play on.
That's actually dope. I never thought of it like that. That's actually really cool.
Dead tones.
Really, really cool. So I do want to know. I really dig how you like film movies. I want to know, where do you feel like that influence comes from?
So most of my influence really comes from like directors that I've watched, like Quentin Tarantino, like we could say like Shane Black. He did a couple, like a lot of suspense action movies. Michael Bay.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple more, but like those are like the directors that I follow that I like to like have the story engage with, like visual wise. And then in terms of like writers, there's a lot of I would say Stephen King would be like
Stephen King.
Yeah, so
is he still alive?
Yes, he is.
Still alive, right?
Yep.
Okay. I know he made a lot of scary movies.
Yeah, I actually grew up on Stephen King movies. So
me too.
So like, why is your movies always horror? I don't know, man, because I grew up on Stephen King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I definitely Stephen King is cool. How we were talking before, like The Shining. What else he's produced? Like, what are movies that stick out to you when you think of Stephen King?
For me, what is the movie? So he had a
If
movie.
you had to like rate them from like top to like cascaded down.
That's so tough. It would probably be number one for me.
It?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was scary.
Yeah.
The old school one with Tim Curry.
Yep, Tim Curry.
Yo, he was spooky vibes.
Actually, and you know what's funny? At first, the new one I didn't like as much, but it grew on me, and I said, you know what? They're two different movies. Like, they're different interpretations, so I respect both of them equally.
Facts.
But both of them were wild.
Yeah,
and
for
the newest one was even crazier.
Yeah, for real.
Oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the part 2.
Mm-hmm.
So remember that scene where she went to go to the old woman and then all of a sudden the old woman disappeared. That whole scene from beginning to end lives rent free in my head.
Yeah. It is definitely he was a scary guy. He liked
Right.
scary things, you know?
Yeah, it was a
like,
creature. It was just
yeah.
it wasn't
It was a
human.
spider. It was like that.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like the old school movie was, kind of like
Alien spider.
yeah.
And his
I didn't
stories
like
are
it.
actually interconnected.
Really?
Yeah, like they're actually based in the same universe. And there's a movie called like not movie. Well, there's a movie called Dark Tower, but his book Dark Tower actually connects his stories together. So it's like the Dark Tower is like the central core,
Yeah.
and then it's like that movie kind of spreads like it is actually part of that universe. And he's like an alien just causing mayhem. And you know, I don't know if there's anybody after him, but there's like so many hints. If you saw the movie Dark Towers, there's actually hints of it being in that reality.
Nah, man, I'll kill him. I will kill him.
Right?
Movies get me mad, especially spooky movies, because I feel like there'd be so many times where he could die, but let's
Right.
just like, we're just gonna let him get stronger or smarter.
Right. I was like, nah, I
I
can't
be
do
getting
that.
mad as hell. I waste no time. Like, yo, you do something crazy around me, like too crazy. I won't even get close. Like, I will go the
Like,
opposite
no chance.
direction. No, absolutely not. I will not like get curious. But I definitely like spooky movies. I love I don't know if it's because of like I feel like I grew up with a lot of guy cousins,
Right.
like a lot of guys, and I feel like they were into like spooky movies, but like more of like with humor. Like a lot of Tales of the Crypt.
Right.
I saw a lot of Tales of the Crypt. What else was scary? I don't know if you ever saw The Boys. It was like a movie that brought Tales of the Crypt, but it was like
Oh,
three,
was it not Boys in the Hood?
there's like 3 stories where 3 guys die, and each of them have a story like mad crazy where they come back, and like in the end it's like they're in their funeral and they didn't even know it was like in their wake. Oh my God, this is gonna bother me.
I feel
so
like
bad.
I've seen that movie.
All right, we're gonna come back to it. I'm definitely gonna get that answer though. But like, I grew up with a lot of those movies. What else? Like Chucky.
Oh yeah, that was classic.
Chucky. Like Chucky did not scare me.
You know, the new movie is actually his daughter.
His
like
daughter?
the actor's daughter.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I was like, wait a minute, why is she? Not that she looks familiar, but it was
Mm-hmm.
just dope to have his daughter be like in the movies and whatnot. And like when they came back and they kind of revamped it, they
Yeah.
had the same voice, but this time he's tormenting his daughter.
That's crazy. I got a question though. Like, I just random question I thought in my head, because I always gotta get spicy, you know. If you randomly got stuck on an island, right?
Right.
With like one VCR, DVD, whatever it is that you could play. You got no phone,
Right.
so that's it. And you have to pick 3 movies.
3 movies.
3 movies that
On
you can like
VHS.
replay, whatever it is, but that you have to replay over and over. Remember, you're on an island.
Do
you're
I
gonna be
I
stuck.
have to replay or have a choice of replaying it?
Well, yeah, but just 3 movies.
3 movies.
All right, you know what? I'll make it 5.
5
Because
movies.
3 movies might be a little crazy, but this is, you don't know how long you stuck on this island. And everybody that's in the check-in, I want you guys to think about the same thing. Remember, this is forever.
Forever.
Forever. Every day.
Every day.
Baby.
I have 5 movies that I could choose from.
No, just forever. Just these 5 movies.
There's 5 movies. That's
yes,
it.
lifetime.
Oh man. Oh well, it'll be Die Hard.
Die Hard.
With the third movie, right?
Okay.
It's gonna be Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon.
I would
Yo,
say-
bad action.
Right. I would say honestly, you could put Lethal Weapon 1 and 2 in there.
Okay.
I, Robot.
I, Robot.
And then the 5th movie I would have to say is, damn, this is gonna be tough. I did mention a Will Smith movie. What?
I got 3. So you
I
got 2
named all these
choices.
movies except for maybe I'll do like, cause it has to be a movie that I could keep on watching over and over
Yeah,
and over
like-
again. I'll say Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo. Okay, you got one more. I think you only did 4.
Oh, I doubled up, so I said Lethal Weapon 1 and 2. But I'll take 1 out just for the sake of something new. I'll say animation movie. It gets me emotional, so I'm gonna have to say I think it's Flubber.
Flubber.
Flubber with Robin
Robin
Williams.
Williams?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Okay. I'm dead. Yeah, so thank you, Grand G23 Easy. Thank you. The movie is called Tales from the Hood.
Tales from the Hood, yes,
Tales
I
from
knew
the
it.
Hood. Thank you.
Yes, I was like,
Thank
damn, I was like,
you.
sound familiar.
Thank you. It was driving me insane. I was dead ass thinking in my head. Oh, and shout out to Merciless. Yo, shout out to Zarg. And Vegan Wine in the building. All right, so 5 movies. Wow.
Yeah, so that means on repeat forever.
Forever.
I probably rock with that.
Okay. I like that. A nice little bunch. Okay, so yes. So when you think of also, I guess, movies, I guess not to add too much hate, but like what's something that you feel like we could do without?
Like in the world?
Yeah.
Hate?
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 No, not hate, but like I mean like when you think of movies or series, like are you down for like sequels? Are you down for like movies that like is it like, oh, you should have just left it alone? Like, you know, like Grease 1 was perfect, but Grease 2 was a disaster.
I didn't know there was a Grease 2.
It was a dumpster fire. I watched it because I was curious.
Right.
It was terrible.
I think it's okay to stop at 3.
3.
Like the final act.
What about Rocky?
Rocky should have.
Rocky was like forever. Rocky's still boxing.
But there's certain movies that you could keep the formula going, but it gets tiresome over time because what ends up happening, the formula is rags to riches or riches to rags.
Okay.
And then the third movie is kind of like introducing, I guess, new characters to kind of take on the mantle and then move on.
Okay.
So that's how I feel like those 3 movies can be. But essentially, how many times you gonna do a rag to riches within the same series?
Okay.
But if you like the character, like Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean,
Yeah.
you don't care.
Facts.
So stuff like that, like you could have some wiggle room, but I feel like with that character, he's not doing like rags to riches or riches to rags. He's just this linear character that's just going through adventures.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. I'm starting to get into the habit. So I asked this question to everybody. Everybody knows what this is. This is Spice Card time. So this card is a black platinum American Express forever card. You don't ever have to owe this ever.
Right.
Like the world is your oyster with this card, but for one day.
For one day.
One day.
Right.
So yo, go crazy.
Right.
What would you do with this card? And you could do it with a blend of film and photography. Because I feel like, think about it. If a human being was given the chance to get whatever they wanted for a day, it's like a 24/7 hour genie, but it's a credit card.
Right.
It's like, what would we really do? And I feel like everybody that's watching this, ask yourself that. Like, what would be your first thoughts? And like, I don't know, self-reflect on that. Like, you know?
You know, it's
the question could go anywhere.
Because if you have a card that's kind of like unlimited, like how much money would I particularly ask for?
It's infinity.
Infinity.
It's unlimited.
So it's like I don't even know what that number is closest to a realistic.
It's just forever.
Right? So like, say for example,
This is the
you know what
card.
all right, I know what a billion is, but what's maybe double a billion?
I'm not sure, but I would not think about spending. Like, I would just be like, yo, let's just spend it.
To spend it? So
Where are we going? Like, bring me here. Like, what are we doing? Like,
I'd probably buy an island and then
island.
An island, right?
Okay.
But the island would have its own village. Like it would have its
Okay.
own township, right?
Okay.
But it's self-sustained.
Okay.
So meaning like they'll always it generates money by like maybe having tourists.
Okay.
And then a portion of that money would go back to me and then I could just live on the island for free.
Oh my God!
I like it. What would you call the island?
Oh my God!
It would probably be called I was gonna say freedom.
Freedom Island.
Freedom Island. So I'd probably say it's probably be like a utopic place. So maybe I don't know. I can't. I would have to say like I would call it Waterworld.
Waterworld. Like, I want to go to Waterworld.
Exactly.
Yo.
That's what I would do.
You'd
Waterworld.
be free.
I'd be free in Waterworld.
Okay, so that's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Forever. Forever.
It's your island forever.
It's my island forever. It'd be a nice island that people can visit easy, so it's not gonna be difficult, and it'll have like security and whatnot, and I just chill on the island.
Okay.
Yep.
No, like all the movie equipment in the world, like
No,
never.
never.
Like-
I mean, not that I wouldn't, but like it's not like so. With the money generating, I could always allocate that money to film if I wanted to. But I'd
Okay.
probably like maybe fund the project and have my own studio. But at this point, because I have it for one day, I have to figure out a way to generate money, like so that way once that day is gone, I'll still have that money coming in. And then that's it. Like I could literally, if I wanted to, and I had a second chance, I'd buy probably maybe like 50 McDonald's.
Okay.
And then at that point, you're just generating money, and then I could just have my own studio like Tyler Perry.
Okay. I like it. There's no right or wrong answer. I always just say like, I'm taking the card back. So like, this is where we're at. Okay. I love it. Okay. So we got the spice card back. So we talked a little bit about movies, a little bit about the movie you just produced.
Right.
Definitely everyone check that out. Anything like, so I am curious, like, what were the movies that you produced in the beginning? What were we looking at? Like, what type of movies were we filming?
So the first movie was like suspense, and then I believe the second thing that I did was called Midnight Chaser.
Midnight Chaser.
Yeah. So
How did that look like? I like the rawness. Like, I am an appreciator, like, of those people that's like had to like just film it on their phone. I don't know what is it about that. I think
Right.
it's so cool. Like, it brings me back. Like, I don't know. I like it.
at the time, I never did anything like film wise on a phone. So it was always like with whatever camera. So I used
Yes,
my photography
exactly.
camera to
Okay.
film the first Infliction movie because it was able to like it was in 1080.
Mm-hmm.
But like that 1080 for some reason on that camera was actually pretty good.
Okay.
You know, so then when I used that same. Then I think when I started my own film, I had like a better camera that was 4K.
Okay.
And then I shot a movie called Midnight Chaser, which was a short where a guy goes on a date with like 3 women and one of them is a serial killer.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but she actually created the app that is an entrapment for people that she goes on dates with. So she pretty much has people coming in and she just picks them off one by one.
That's crazy. Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah,
Jeffrey Dahmer shit.
but with social media.
Oof.
Yep.
Oof. Yo, imagine if Jeffrey Dahmer had social media.
Oh,
No.
he would be famous.
Like,
famous.
No.
Be famous.
Did you see the series?
I want to. I haven't gotten a chance to sit down and watch it, but I,
I mean,
do
you know what
plan
he
on.
did, though.
I already knew. I know.
Sickos.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I was like, how many? Because this will probably be the first version that I've watched of like of a show or a depiction of him, and
Yeah.
I heard like, oh, it was pretty wild. I'm like, I've already read on this dude. I thought it was like not that it was a joke, but like when people like I've heard about him in the 90s. So
I mean,
when
yeah,
they,
that's when it happened.
right. So then when I hear about it, I'm like, I've lived hearing on it. So
Yeah.
it's, to other people, it's like, oh, it's a movie, but it's like, yo, I was around that time when that shit was going on.
Yeah, man. It like messed me up a little bit when I saw it. I just feel like what really messed me up though, this is the part that's crazy to me, is like there is a part in that series and everybody knows it. It's like been in movies and documentaries of like the people that are obsessed with him. Because there were like women and men that were writing to him and they were like, hey, can you just like draw me this picture? Here's $5 for your commentary. Like, oh, or like people that like loved him.
Right.
Or like just had a crush on him. And I'm like, yo, he ate these people. Like, I'm just like,
People don't care, and they did that
oof.
with
Like, I just thought that was crazy. That was like, whoa, like that's how do you look like? Like, I was just like, what is going? It messed me up a little bit.
right.
Yeah.
Because they did that with another Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy.
He was like a celebrity.
I
to
guess
these
because they
people.
weren't like ugly.
Well,
I don't know.
They
To
couldn't
me,
believe a handsome person kills. That was the issue.
Aesthetic.
Aesthetic.
Aesthetic goes a long way.
Right. Oh, this handsome person. Like, if we found out, like, the most beautiful person is out here killing people, they'd be like, why? Why?
Yeah.
What? If it was a person that wasn't as attractive, you'd be like, oh, yeah, I could see them doing that and blah, blah. But yet, for someone that we see as beautiful, why would you do that? We try to reason. We try to get them out of the habit of doing all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But when someone who kind of is not on the attractive side based on like how they perceive it, they're like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I have a question for you. Since we said the word aesthetic, how is it that you choose the people for your movies? Like, how do you choose, like, okay, I want this person from this background. I want this person to be fit. I want this person to not be fit. You know, how do you choose that without offending anyone?
Honestly,
and this is not me trying to be an asshole. Like,
No.
I'm just really curious. Like, how do, like, even movies, like, oh, perfect.
Well, it changed
know?
over time. I don't know if you noticed, but it used to be like you could see like regular people, actors in these roles. And then for some reason they said, let's make these people beautiful because we want more people to see.
Okay.
You ever watch a movie and you're like, everybody in this movie is too handsome or beautiful? How is that realistic? Granted, it's a movie, but it's kind of hard to relate to that movie when everyone is attractive.
Yeah.
That's not realistic. Because, like, especially when you, like, oh, the perfect guy looking, then the perfect gal, and then they get together. That's not how it works. It's usually, like, he's I or she's I, but you know what I'm saying?
Go
like,
find me an I person. Like, find me 3. Bring them back.
Oh, my God. But, like that's real.
Dead.
But, like, with my film, I try to just create the character, and whoever, like, just kills the audition.
Yeah.
Here you go. That's it. It shouldn't matter based on like and it also makes it more what's the word? To me, it feels like it's more realistic because then it's like you don't have expectations. Like if I pick whoever the main character is, you're watching this movie because you're watching the character go through XYZ.
Yeah.
You're not focused on a character because of their handsomeness. I feel like sometimes it'd be like a gimmick. Like, not to say, like, I'm not going to throw Ryan Reynolds under the bus, but, like, he has no, like, that's who he is. But, like, if you have a lot of Ryan Reynolds in the movie, it kind of was like, where's the realism in that? Especially, you're like, oh, because everybody's attracted to this person. So, are you bringing people to movie to watch your work, or are you bringing in people just to get the money?
Hot.
The money.
Yeah.
It's all about the money. Like, people just buying tickets. That's it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Marv.
I mean, no, you just made me think about something because it's like true. It's like, you know, oh man, it definitely made me think about that. I mean, I feel like kind of it goes the other way around. Like, what if you were like overweight, right?
Right.
But you're funny for being overweight,
Right.
and then you lose weight.
Right.
Is the success the same?
Yeah, look at Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. It's like, are you funnier the weight you are? Like, do you feel like that affected him?
For him, I think it's up to the person to take those roles because he just wanted roles that, you know, he could be serious. He didn't want to be like the butt of the joke. Like Rebel Wilson, for example, she
Who's
lost.
that?
She was in Pitch. She was a little bigger.
Okay.
Right? And then she lost a lot of weight. And people are like, why? Why? What do you mean, why?
Because
That's
I'm
her
unhealthy.
choice. Right. What do you mean?
This was a role.
Right.
This wasn't real life.
It's not real life. She was just acting and whatnot.
dead.
So she lost all that weight. And people were like, why did she lose weight? Oh, I don't know if she's going to be any funny and blah, blah.
Yeah.
So then she dropped the movie. And that movie was hilarious. But it was like her being in a coma for X amount of years. And then her going to finish high school.
I feel like, though, unfortunately, some artists do fall into that hole. Like,
Right.
look, I'm going to just say it. I feel like the Napoleon Dynamite dude.
I
I can't see him getting out of that role. It was that role, and I think he played another one with, like, there was a baseball game. And that was it. It was so hard. And I'm like, that.
Have you seen him what he looked like?
No.
Like, recently? He doesn't fit, like, you. If
Ooh,
you.
I'm going to use this as a clip.
Yeah,
Now I'm curious. I'm like, how do you jump out of that? Like, it's even like Steve Urkel. That's the most infamous story.
Right,
you know,
right.
like Steve Urkel did that show for so long.
Right.
That I feel like when he tried to like jump into other things, it was difficult.
Yeah, he did do a show outside of that, and it was
Yeah.
non-Urkel related.
Yeah.
And people were like, it was funny, it was great, but it was like you created such an iconic like character within like what you brought to the table that you're like, yeah, man, I like Urkel. And
Yeah,
then they were
facts.
talking about bringing Urkel back, but more adult theme.
So, do you act?
Me? No, I don't.
Because you were I saw you in the therapy series.
Oh yeah, I was just a cameo.
Okay.
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah. Okay. It was real quick though. I saw
Yeah.
that. So, would you not consider acting? You just want to be behind the scenes?
No, I actually have no problem like acting in the scene. I actually was going to like switch in and go into acting, but I was like, I wanted to like make sure my pockets were like, you know, like money's consistently going in on my end, and then I'll be like, all right, let me start doing that on my own time, because there ain't nothing worse than going and working towards this goal, and then your pocket is empty. So then you have to make a choice.
Starving artist.
Starving artist.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to fit into that mold. Let me get my money right, then let me do the acting.
Facts.
Right.
Okay. I respect that. So let me start. I want to ask some questions about photography. So what is your favorite style? I know we talked about grunge. So if you could think of like your most favorite like photo shoot that you have ever taken, like what was that photo shoot? Like what did it involve? Like what happened? How did the photos come out?
I would have to say my favorite shoot was with Alexandria Pascucci, and we did a day where we did like 6 different looks in one day.
Okay.
It
Where
was
was the location?
It was in Totowa, and it was in the studio.
Okay.
So we like literally sectioned off different parts of the studio, created a theme. We like wrote down like the outfits and whatnot, and I had to create different characters for different outfits, and then we kind of embodied that. And then I changed the styles as well. So my influence is actually Annie Leibovitz. So with her, like her style, like she has like a lot of green in her shots and whatnot, and it's all pretty much emotional based, and like it's really like focused on the eyes and the expression, but most of her shots sometimes are more so candid.
Yeah.
And the way she does her lighting, she kind of mixes her her strobe lights with like the ambient light of whatever space it is. So it's like creating like a scene of like just a moment, like a personal moment. So it doesn't feel like a movie, but it is like capturing like a moment in that person's life.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I definitely get what you're saying. That's dope. That's really cool. It's like, oh, come into this room. It's nighttime now.
Right.
I like
And
that.
it just changed the whole vibe. And I'm like, but I like to challenge myself every now and then, just so that way I don't get comfortable with like one set look.
Okay. I like that. I do like photography, so I always wonder like what type of photographer would I consider myself. I kind of wanted to do what you did, like, oh, let me just walk around, take pictures of people, but then I'm like, what if I get punched in the face? Like, you know, like, because I feel like somebody could get offended. Like, look at your situation, and it wasn't even like you were capturing him.
Right.
It was just
happened to be in the most, like, take a picture of me. I'm just like, whoa.
Exactly. I'm just like, oh man, like I don't know. I feel like I have to invest in a camera, start taking some pictures, see where it goes.
Right.
It's crazy. I feel like what's crazy is the places that you can't take pictures. Yeah. And still people manage to take a picture. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah,
like, you know?
Those are the pictures that, because when you're doing something I guess you're not supposed to, those end up being the pictures that are like oh my God. Like
groundbreaking.
Paparazzi, for example.
I'm not even thinking like so much even paparazzi. Like I was even thinking like, so for example, like I have friends that are South Korean, right?
Right.
South Korean is popping, but North Korean is completely closed off.
Right.
You know, like you can't take pictures.
Of course.
You can visit, but you can't take pictures. But like the pictures that have leaked out, it's nothing crazy. The ones I've seen, it actually just shows a country. But like taking a picture of a worker relaxing. Like if you take a picture of a soldier smoking a cigarette, like that's banned because they're meant to look like always on point. Like it's kind of like England, like those soldiers, like you can't relax.
You don't want to take a picture of them.
You can't show emotion.
Right.
Yeah. So like when I saw that picture, I was like, wow, like that. Whoever took that picture is like super ballsy.
First of all, whoever took that picture had a death
I hope
wish.
you're alive. Exactly.
Right.
That's all I was thinking. I'm like, yo, I really hope you're alive because this picture is awesome. Like I like pictures like that, like very raw.
Right.
But I'm like, oh my God, like when you mentioned like getting hit in the face, brought me to that. I saw it on TikTok. I was like, wow.
It depends on what style you're going for, but you wanna take pictures that make people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. You don't want to play safe when it comes to like photography. So I could do a studio shoot, I could draw it up and make people feel super uncomfortable and post it. And it could be non-nude related whatsoever. It could be non-violent whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it'll be like taken off Instagram. But because it's uncomfortable,
yeah,
you get so much reaction from every. Like when I posted that
Everybody's
Squid
sensitive.
shoot, right?
Everybody's a little sensitive.
I posted
right
that Squid shoot. If you look at the comments,
Yeah.
it was just absolutely ridiculous because some people
Yeah.
thought I took a live squid and killed it for the shoot.
I'm dead.
But I
You
didn't.
had PETA.
I was like, Peter, and then people, oh, what
Yeah,
if we
I'm
did that to you? And
dead.
blah. I'm just like, oh my god. But there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Facts. You just gotta keep it there. I've been in those moments where I'm like, should I delete this? But I'm like, damn, but if I delete it, it goes against everything I did it for because everybody's just assuming that. And I feel like that's not right either.
Right.
So it's good that you stuck with yourself because you know that you didn't mean it like that, you
Right.
know? And you don't really gotta explain it to nobody. You know,
Exactly.
do what you have to do. I feel like that's what makes like art so groundbreaking. Like even like artists, like if you even want to look at like painters, like imagine what Salvador Dali was going through his age.
Right.
You know what I mean? He had like crazy ass paintings of like naked bodies and stuff like
Right.
that. You know what I mean? You know how many people probably went after him?
So imagine he played it safe. Would you remembered him for
Nah,
his work?
exactly. You gotta. So I've said it plenty in episodes, and I like that you said that. Like I'll challenge myself, like do something uncomfortable, because like you don't grow if you're comfortable.
Right.
You know, so you have to like, you have to grow from a place of discomfort in order to truly grow. Because if you're really comfortable, you're just staying stagnant, and you're not gonna really go anywhere
Right.
at all. That's dope.
That's why it's always good to experiment now and then to like see like what can I do to spice it up. You know.
Yes, spicy. So I want to know, like, where do you eventually want to take yourself this year, especially with your film and your photography? Like, if you had like a plan or something that you tell yourself every day, what's something that you want to get done this year for sure?
I wanna have my work in a gallery, and whether it's this year or the next, but I wanna have like, cause COVID kind of
Fancy.
right. Cause COVID kind of stopped that. So now that we're
Yeah.
back into the motion, I would like to have like my work in a gallery, but it's not gonna just be pictures. Some will be pictures, but I want to have like motion, like pictures that you would see, but there's like flames. Like I have one I could show you, but it's like there's like there's like motion going on, and you're just staring at it, like
Yeah.
the picture in motion. That's
Okay.
it. Like the
Okay.
subject is not moving, but everything else is like just weird stuff happening around.
Yeah.
And it'll be like on a giant like digital frame.
Yeah.
That's what
Okay.
I want to do. Something more interactive.
I love that. I love that. Well, you have until December to finish. I'm like, it's like right there.
Right.
Okay. So I'm curious. We spoke about spooky things. Okay. What are you dressing up as this year?
For
Do you
this
get
year,
creative like that?
me
Creative director.
so me and my girl, we're gonna be dressed up as like Cookie Monster.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Who's the
I'm
Cookie Monster?
I'm the Cookie Monster.
And she's a cookie?
Yep.
Okay, that's cute. That's cute. Are you guys making the costumes?
Well, I'm helping her build hers, and then mine is just pretty much a onesie with like the eyes at the top.
Dead. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
What would be crazy is that if you could find someone to be Big Bird and then find like the other characters.
Like Grouch and whatnot.
Yeah, in fact, especially Grouch. Like, that would be an epic picture. Yo, Grouch. He was like such a character in like Sesame Street.
Yeah, he's
That's-
like clean now. Like they like
Clean?
messed. Yeah, like he's not in the garbage anymore.
Where he at?
I don't. He's not. I don't know, Marv. You know
Wait.
where is he?
He's in a Swifter. Like, where?
Our man is not even in garbage anymore.
Yeah, I felt so bad for Grouch. I remember like when Dave Chappelle did his skit. He's like, Oscar, why are you such a grouch? I live in a trash can, bitch. Like, yeah, what do you expect? What do you expect?
Oh my god.
I definitely dig Sesame Street. I love Sesame Street, but okay, I'm happy. I am curious though. Where is he living?
I honestly, I feel like they just have him like maybe like.
It's
in
like
a home.
recycled, so it's like he's cleaner.
Right, he's cleaner.
So
Plus,
he's like in a recycling bin.
they had Cookie Monster
it's, like, all
eating
clean?
healthy. He was like eating carrots and celery. Because they
Oh,
didn't want him eating cookie. I'm like,
wow.
that's not
So
Cookie
he's not
Monster.
even the Cookie Monster.
Right. He's the healthy monster.
The healthy monster. Healthy monster. Yo, shout out to Joe, therapy without a degree.
Hey.
Shout out to Joe in the building. Yo, I'm dead. That's it, eating healthy snacks. I mean, all right, if you had to think of a show growing up, what's a show? Because I feel like show is still film.
Right.
What's a show that you grew up watching?
Let's see. Grew up watching in long term.
Yeah.
I would have to say like Supernatural.
Supernatural.
Yeah.
I caught little episodes here and there.
Yeah, because I started that show when I
Yeah.
was like 16, and then I watched it to the end. They had like 15 seasons.
Okay.
So that's probably the longest running show that I watched like growing up. But like other shows I watched, they were like, you know, maybe had like 3 or 5 seasons, like the Rugrats, like Power Rangers. There's like certain shows like Cousin Skeeter.
Yo, Cousin Skeeter. Yo, you brought it back. I
Yeah.
forgot about that episode. Yo, Cousin Skeeter was definitely the shit. I love Cousin Skeeter.
That show was just like an awesome, especially like that was when they had like the R&B theme song and whatnot.
Yo, for real. I think of like all that back in the day. Yo, all that had like Missy Elliott, 112. They had like these little skits that they would perform.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, these kids were just in the audience, like listening to these
turning up.
lyrics.
And you're just like, what? Like the 90s was such a beautiful
Yo,
place.
It really was, though.
And nowadays it's just too soft. Just
Yo,
too soft.
facts. Facts. Oh my God. Okay, so time is going by a little bit quick. Before we actually even end the show, I want you to like give out your Instagram. Like, where could people find you? Where to like find your movies? Like, where to find upcoming things that you know.
So
working
people can follow me on Instagram. I am Zain Magazine. And on Instagram again, I am Zain Studios. On my YouTube channel, it's I am Zain Studios. And those are like the 3 top platforms that people can like find my work. Other than my website, which is IamZainStudios.com.
That's dope.
That's like the unrated version, because
Okay.
Instagram and all social media platforms would be like trying to water down your work. But like if you're looking for like unrated versions, like rated R, that would be my website.
Okay. Yeah, so everybody definitely go and follow Zain, subscribe. And also everybody that's in the check-in right now, subscribe to your girl, the Mina Mendoza show. Just saying. Especially if you're in the check-in. Show your girl some love. And yeah, I'm loving this. Thank you so much for like coming on to the show. I feel like I like to meet other creatives in my area. So I feel like getting to know, you know, Marv, like everybody that's kind of doing their own thing. I met Joe the other day. Like I feel like it's really dope. The community,
Right.
you know, so it's just like, and you're friends with Joe.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
my
so
close friend since middle
Shout
school.
out to Joe. So you guys went to middle school together?
Yes.
Wow,
Yes, we did. Yep. And we've
okay.
been friends ever since.
Okay. Did you go to Bergen too?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like everybody went to Bergen.
Bergen was lit.
Definitely. Joe held out Bergen. Definitely. I'm like, we probably like bumped into each other and didn't even know.
Right.
Because I was in Bergen.
Or what year you graduated?
That's the thing. I went and then I went back. I changed my mind. And then like I went back like permanently. I can't even remember. I think it was like 2015, 2014.
Okay.
2014, 2013. Around those years is when like I officially graduated.
And you're like, I'm done.
Yeah, because I was just like, let me just do what I need to do. But yeah, shout out to Bergen. I feel like Bergen, it's weird to know like we probably like bumped each other in like classes.
Right.
Probably took a class.
Probably took like I didn't even know. Like there's certain
Yeah.
people that like I'm still friends with in Bergen.
Yeah.
Like, and I granted after Bergen I went to Montclair, but the connection was way different. Bergen was definitely like the
Local.
stomping ground. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So everybody that checked in with us, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much. Actually, one thing, because I feel like I stay seeing Vegan Wine. You know, he's always coming into the check and showing that love. So I'm going to ask that question. Vegan Wine always comes onto the show and asks one question. What's your favorite sandwich?
My favorite sandwich.
What's your favorite sandwich?
I want to say like I would say like a turkey panini, a turkey and cheese panini.
Oh, he's fancy.
Like with pesto?
Okay, he's really fancy. Turkey panini pesto.
Yes.
You been hanging out Napoli pizza?
Yeah.
Serving you up all that. I love it. I love it. Yes. So we all know favorite sandwich. So much love. Thank you everybody for being part of the show. Shout out to Bravery Studios. It's your girl, Queen of Spice, Mina Mendoza show. We out of here. Bye guys.